Well, we're officially into the off season, and we're back. I would say. So, what is up, guys? Welcome back to Sobacksports. We're so back with another episode of the Sobacksports podcast. I genuinely forgot about the off season after like watching playoff football for a couple weeks now, and you know it sucks that we left early from the playoffs, but it is what it is. But yeah, the Bears this past Sunday unfortunately fell short and did not make it to the NFC Championship game. Uh, Even though there was a miraculous comeback at the end, it's it sucks. But we'll be back. We'll make a lot of improvements, like Ben Johnson said in today's press conference, and Brian Poles will say it's not a guarantee that we'll make it back there unless we break it down to the bottom and rebuild it all the way to the top. And I have faith. I have faith in this team, and we need to make a lot of hard decisions this offseason. But I'm proud of our guys. They showed a lot, and I'm looking forward to mock drafts, the combine, the Senior Bowl, things like that, and 8 months of no football. So I'll give the floor to you. What are your thoughts, my dude?
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I think it sucks that we lost to the Rams in the playoffs. Like, I thought that we had it. Like, honestly, I think we played good, man. Like, out of the three turnovers, like I feel like the defense showed a lot of heart. The defense played well, and I feel like we finally got a taste of like what the defense could have been if it was healthy. But that's football, man. People are gonna get injured, and depth is very important. And I just think that like it just sucks because man, this could have been our year, bro. It sucks, but yeah, I agree with you, man. I definitely have a lot of positives I could take away from the season. I think everyone improved in this season. I think Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, sorry, that year one, I think that's gonna be um very pivotal. It's a very pivotal year because it's gonna show what they can do for the future. And yeah, I mean we got a lot of free agents on our own team, so we gotta figure out who we're gonna re-sign, who we're gonna let go. Um, but man, I still think we should have got that win, man. I thought it should have been 2017 Chicago. I I'm still I, I don't know, man. I feel like that. I feel like that play call, like I mean, it's also Kelly's fault for throwing it and DJ's like miscommunication, but like we only needed 15 yards. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. It's our first time in the playoffs, but like we had like everything bounced to our side at the end of the game. It's just like we got that stop, and it's like I'm just disappointed, man. Like just for that, but other than that, like I feel like we should be in the NFC Championship game right now, man. That's my whole thing, bro. We should be in the NFC Championship game. We literally played the better game against the Rams, and the thing is, if you give the Rams so many opportunities with a quarterback like Matthew Stafford, he's gonna go out there and hit a game-winning drive. So it sucks, but hey, kudos to Matthew Stafford. And look, I'm not a sore loser. I want the Rams to go win that Super Bowl. I think Matthew Stafford, um, go get him in the Hall of Fame, man. Go win that MVP and go win that Super Bowl, man. I really want you to win. I do. I Me personally, that's who I want to win. You know, I'd rather lose to the champs. So
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. I want Matthew Stafford and the Rams to win. I've always respected Matthew Stafford, and you know, I think that the team that they have right now is really special. Um, you know, hats off to them for you know winning in the cold tundra that was Chicago. And yeah, I mean, they have a really tough task at beating Seattle away, which is going to be tough. I think they can pull it off, but they have to have a perfect game plan. And Seattle's not an easy opponent. I'll be real for that. Um, and I do think on the topic of
I don't think the Rams are an easy opponent for Seattle either. I think Sam Darnold's not played a good. He's had 2 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. So like, I think that's gonna be a tough game for both teams. I genuinely think the Rams can do it. I mean, if it wasn't for that stupid 2 point conversion, um, the Rams would have lost. So I'm sorry, the Seahawks would have lost. And in overtime, the Rams scored a touchdown, and then the Seahawks scored a touchdown and hit that 2 point conversion for the win. So I definitely think. Look, if Caleb Williams can throw 3 interceptions against the Rams, which is not normal for him, I think this playoffs. We're gonna get to Caleb later, but I'm surprised that he threw some picks because I normally don't see him throwing picks, but it is where it is where it is. But I think they're gonna definitely get Sam Darnold. So I'm I really want, again, like I said, you beat us. I want you to now don't make it for nothing. Go out there and beat the Seahawks and go win the Super Bowl. I cannot have Drake May win it, bro. I just can't. I'm sorry. I can't. But yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'd want to see the NFC side, to be honest, win. Um, I don't mind the Seahawks winning either. But the AFC side of things, like I'd prefer like the Patriots are the least of my preferences, just for the sole purpose of their fan base hasn't suffered enough for what for how much success they've had over the course of like 2 decades almost at this point. And if it happens, I mean, it's whatever. But I think from a Caleb perspective, the picks were definitely unusual, especially when it comes to him throwing them, because we're so used to him being very careful with the ball and whatnot, and him throwing multiple picks in a game, it's very rare. And this Rams game, I think he was just taking a lot of risks when it comes to that. Obviously, some of them were definitely not on him, but it was just in the Packers game. There were two. One was in the first drive, or no, second drive, right? And then another one was to start the half, and he threw it right to the defense. I was like, some of them were just arm punts, pretty much. That just punted to like the other side of the ball of the field. And I think the one thing is for certain, and Caleb himself mentioned in the press conference, that his main focus is taking those layups going into next season. I think that for what he was set out to do this season and the goals he set in this past offseason for the season, he met. He was able to take less sacks. He improved his game, improved his footwork, and what else? And made an impact in one games. So he made, for all intents and purposes, did what he needed to do. Now it's a matter of taking that next step in your year 3 now, which is kind of crazy to think. Now we're approaching year 3 of Caleb Williams now, so it's pretty sick that now in year 2 he was not only able to get 5,000 total all-purpose yards, but including the playoffs, obviously, but also win a playoff game, beat the Packers 2 times, and come close to making the NFC Championship game. So, and have
I
by
mean,
far
speaking of that game, bro.
the top five throws of the year, essentially, too.
Speaking of
The
that
arm
game,
talent is
bro.
there, and yeah,
Speaking of that game, bro. Like Rome Dunze, bro. I know you're coming off an injury. I applaud you for coming back, bro. But like, catch the ball, man. Like, catch the
yeah,
ball, dog, dude. Like in the playoffs, we need our like. I would understand if look, I'm fine with Luther Burden dropping it if he does, because look, he's a second round pick. I mean, no, look, I don't want anybody to drop the ball, but if he drops this, whatever. But like, Rome, you're the ninth pick in the draft, dude. Like we picked you because you're supposed to be a franchise receiver, bro, and you're dropping balls left and right. Like you have like one of the highest drop rates in the league. Like I hope it improves next year, but like he catches that touchdown, different ball game. It's a different ball game.
Hmm.
Like like catch it, Caleb throw a dot. Like I'm just pissed off because no, not Rome, but like I'm just pissed off this season because like Caleb's numbers could have been so much better. We could have won more games if just our receivers were just catching the ball.
And
It's
we would have won it convincingly too. Like we wouldn't have had to
literally
ever been in those
it,
situations where it's
like
like a close game.
it's so annoying. It's like and look, guys, look. I think I think it's fair to say that I'm the biggest like DJ Moore fan. Like out of everyone, I've been defending him the whole time. I've been saying give him the ball, give him the ball, give him the ball. Dog, you gotta get better. It's season on the line. You have to be better, bro. You have to be better. You gotta give more effort. You can't just jog your route, bro. Like, I'm sorry. You're I think he's the highest salary on the team, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
next year. Next
Yeah.
year is 28 million cap hit.
Dog, I'm so serious, man. I'm calling the Raiders and trading him, bro. Or like whoever wants him, bro. Because I, I I'm fine with giving the keys to like I think Rome will get better next season because he did start off so well. So I believe in Rome. I do. I think Roman Burden and Loveland. And I think I'll bring back Komet too. I'll bring him back because he played such a pivotal role. I know his numbers went down, but he played such a pivotal role when it came to blocking. He was amazing. And he's been such a good team player, bro. Like he could have just easily like been a diva and said, like, oh, like you guys drafted Loveland after giving me a contract. No, he was such a great team sport and he played his part and and he caught some touchdowns. I mean, look, we're gonna remember that Caleb throw and who caught it? Cole Kmet. So it's just he gets rewarded for being such a good teammate. So I would keep him. But look, man, I want some effort, bro. Like ever since 2023, it's like I think him and Caleb just don't have that connection. And honestly, I thought it was Caleb, but now I have to say it's DJ, bro. It's DJ. You're not giving the effort. Trade him. You save him a lot of money and go get a difference maker like Max Crosby, and maybe you got to send like 2 firsts or something. And I know we're gonna get into that later, but I'm just saying, like, I would just trade DJ, bro. I don't think having him in that contract, I don't think he's playing up to his contract right now.
I agree. And I think I'm not gonna forget as well, like the amount of pivotal catches he's made this season, and like it's easy to forget. Um, but he has contributed quite a bit this season, and we wouldn't be in that Packers game if it weren't for him making some
That's true.
crucial catches. But I think, like you said, the consistency and the effort has to be
But
there on
like,
plays,
we
and
can't treat him. We can't treat him like he's like a $18 million receiver. We gotta treat him like for what he's worth, according to the cost of what we're giving. Like yeah,
yeah,
DJ Moore had his moments this season. I completely understand it, but the effort I've seen so many times I've seen like just his effort not being there.
yeah,
And whether that's him like not being the number one alpha guy anymore, whether it's just him and Caleb not getting a connection, like whatever it is, it's not working. And at some point, you got to look at that number and say, is he giving me $28 million worth of production? I think the answer is no. So I would rather use that money and go get someone like I'm sorry, use it to keep Kevin Byard, keep Jaquan Brisker. Which I know we're gonna get to this later, but like keep the players that are on your team, so who are contributing and who want to be here. I
mhm.
think DJ wants to be here. Don't get me wrong, but you gotta give me that production, man.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna move on to other stuff, but I just think that
Mhm.
like I and also it doesn't help DJ's case that he still hasn't talked to the media yet. He had his exit interview with Ben, and they had a good talks and all that stuff. It's nothing bad or anything like that, but it just sucks that you know he's a good guy. It's not like like DJ is like you know like a complete diva or anything like that. He's a good person. He's a very good team player. It's just the effort. It's just the effort is just not there, and it just that's unacceptable at times, especially from
Yep.
someone who's a veteran like him, who these young wide receivers are looking up to, you know, and trying to learn from. That doesn't set a good precedence to the rest of the wide receiver room that's trying to give their all they can. Like Rome, like playing through an injury, giving it his all. Yeah, obviously he's dropping balls and stuff like that, but at least he's giving the effort and trying to play through an injury. So like I can give him some slack. DJ, you're playing healthy. Like there is no excuse for that. And while yes, I can put some blame on Caleb on that pass because that was you could have made a better read and find someone else on that play and live for another down and not go for the kill shot essentially. But at the end of the day, the season ended because of that interception, and both DJ and Caleb had a part to play in it. Um, but let's move on to another part of it.
Mhm.
I think we can leave the discussions of what to do next because there's a lot of hires and stuff and coordinator hires as well, and we can kind of just walk through some of them too. Um,
Yep.
for the Bears specifically, Eric Bieniemy is officially a Kansas City Chief. He's going back to his old home at the time, back in 2022, before he went to the Commanders. Then he went to UCLA, and then eventually come to here. I will definitely miss Eric. He's done a great work, and I'm rooting for him where he goes because he's going to be a great OC. We've already seen him win a Super Bowl with Mahomes. Like Mahomes and
True.
Kelsey. I think this move alone will bring Kelsey to come back for another year. They all respect Eric so much, and you know, Eric has done so much good stuff for this team when it comes to the run game. Swift had a career year because of him. Kyle Manungai burst onto the scene because of him. Like he's going to be dearly missed. And hopefully the run game can continue to be as potent as it was this season. What are your thoughts on him heading out?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great move for the Chiefs. You already won 2 Super Bowls with him, so like he's gonna definitely help that broken offense that Matt Nagy was doing for the last 2 3 years. So I think it's a good move for them. I think the run game is still gonna be fine. You have Ben Johnson. Uh, I definitely think he's gonna hire someone really good.
I
I'm
think
not
they
really worried about.
hired another dude. I forgot his name. They hired him from Boston College, who knew Ben Johnson back in the day. So, but we're unsure of what position he's going to be taking
Yeah.
over.
So like, I mean, I'm not really worried about the offense when it comes to Ben Johnson because I think he will take care of it. Um, I mean, that's the beauty of having an offensive coach. It's like he'll know what to do with that offensive position. Like you don't have like to learn new playbooks and all that stuff for Caleb and the whole offense. So I'm not really worried about it when it comes to the Bears run game. I think the run game is gonna be phenomenal next year again. So
Mm.
whether it's with Swift and Monungai, we'll see. But I'm not really worried about it. And then great for the Chiefs. They're gonna probably. I think Mahomes is gonna be coming back next season. I think Travis Kelsey will come back. I think the Chiefs will be scary again, and the whole league is going to be on notice next year with Eric Bieniemy and that Chiefs offense. Now that they have a top 10 pick now, I mean, maybe this season was a blessing in disguise for them. So, you know me. I always respect the Chiefs. I'm not a hater. I think it's a good move, and I'm always rooting for Patrick Mahomes. I think he's a good player. So I think his numbers are going to get a lot better next season.
Yeah, that's completely fair. Um, I think. Oh yeah, another one. We can kind of go through. There are quite a bit that's happened. The Lions and Drew Petzing. Uh, what are your thoughts
Yeah,
on this?
I didn't understand this. Yeah, I didn't understand this one because like you had Mike McDaniel, Brian
About Mike
Dable.
McDaniel though. They interviewed him and they didn't really see a fit um with him in Detroit. That's the main
Mm.
reasoning behind him not being that, being the
Yeah, that's the
offensive
thing, man.
coordinator.
That's the thing with being like. That's why I'm never like. I'm not in for defensive coordinators, bro. I don't like it. I actually don't like having defensive coordinators as coaches. Defensive minded head coaches as your head coach because like your offense is gonna change every year. Because like if you keep winning, those guys are gonna get head coaching
I thought Dan
jobs.
Campbell was an offensive minded head coach.
No, his defense. Yeah, Dan Campbell was a defensive minded head coach.
Why does he feel like? Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, he technically is offensive minded. Yeah, no, he is
No,
offensive. He was the one that was calling play calls this year. Yeah, because he was a tight end back in when the time during the Saints. Yeah, he wouldn't be going for this, going for it on fourth down if you were defensive minded.
really? Okay, never mind. Um, I mean, but I wouldn't say he's like an offensive guru. Like I wouldn't say he's like a savant when it comes to like the offense. So I don't know. I mean, I felt like the Cardinals last year were like they're so underwhelming, and like I feel like Drew Petzing is so like conservative, and I just don't know how that fits with Dan Campbell because Dan Campbell's like go for it, go for it, go for it. So like we'll see how it works. But I mean, the Lions have playmakers, so um, and I do think that Jared Goff is better than any quarterback that Drew Petzing had. So I think it could work, but I hope it doesn't. But you know, it could work. I mean, I'm not going to count out the Lions. They have a last place schedule next year, so it definitely could help them.
Yeah, and I think they have the weapons too, compared to what Petzing had to work with in.
Yep.
Um, actually, technically, Petzing did have some weapons. It's not as plentiful as the Lions does.
Hmm.
Um, I just think that I was kind of confused about this move, but then I kind of dug deep about it, and Petzing and Ben Johnson were like good friends back in the day. Um, Apparently he was his best man for Ben Johnson's wedding, which was pretty funny to find out about. Um, but I mean, at the end of the day, like I'm not super moved about this move, but at the same time, I could be very wrong because it could be like a fit kind of thing or a scheme kind of thing, and maybe it would work with the current iteration of the Rams, not the Rams, the Lions. So who knows? I mean, I'm not a huge believer in it, but I would be surprised. I would not be surprised if it actually worked. And kind of segueing into that, McDaniel's going to the Chargers. I think that this is an A+ move by Jim Harbaugh
Hmm.
to get rid of his buddy Greg Roman. I know it was tough to do, but now Justin Herbert has an offense coordinator, and hopefully his team gets healthy, and that there's no more excuses for him. But I think that McDaniel's, needed a change from where he was. And the funny thing is, he went to the other quarterback that the Dolphins should have taken instead of Tua. Um, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I'll go quick. I agree. I think this is a great hire, A+ hire. I think it's definitely going to help the Chargers offense. It's going to help the Chargers run game. It's definitely going to help Justin Herbert. He's pretty mobile. So, um, yeah, I think it's going to help. He's probably the best option out there behind with him and Brian Dable. So, um, I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was a good hire.
Yeah. Speaking of hires, unfortunately, Brian Flores staying with the Minnesota Vikings to be their
Well,
defensive core.
apparently he's still like looking for head
He's
coaching jobs.
Yeah, he's still he only looking for head coaching jobs, no lateral moves. And if he doesn't get either the Steelers job or the Ravens job, he's gonna go be the defensive coordinator for the Vikings. And I do not like it. I'm very sad that he is still in our division. So I really hope Pittsburgh or Baltimore sign him as the head coach, because that'd make life a lot better for us going forward. But What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I definitely think that Flores should definitely get another chance at a head coaching job. I think, his defense has been probably one of the best I've seen in a while. So Ravens definitely could use him because I think Ravens have a lot of like if I'm him, I want to go to the Ravens job because that's like you can win. Steelers like okay, you
Mhm.
got to go in a rebuild. Um, I mean, kind of like you got to go in a
Rebuild,
rebuild. Yeah,
retool, as they say.
retool. So I mean, head coaching job is a head coaching job. You get that moolah, the money. So, but yeah, I mean, as far as him staying as a defensive coordinator here, I mean, yeah, for the Vikings, it's going to be scary, obviously, playing him every time, twice a year. But I mean, you got to see how good JJ McCarthy is, right? Because if McCarthy doesn't progress, then it doesn't really matter, right? Like, the Vikings are still going to be stuck. So, honestly, it depends on for the Vikings' success. It's gonna depend on JJ McCarthy and how he plays, how he progresses in his second year, going to year 3 of his career, but second year as a starter. So yeah, I'm not counting out the Vikings. They were competitive this year, 9-8. They finished off the season, winning 5 straight, sweeping Detroit. Um, they went 4-2 in the division, so I'm not putting anything past the Vikings. They can definitely be scary. This is why the NFC North will be a dog war yet again. But again, I'm not scared of Brian Flores. I think he's a good coordinator. But yeah, I'm not scared. I think we can still put up points against him.
Yeah. And let's go over to the head coaches. Big news starting off the week. Sean McDermott and the whole situation with the Bills, because good Lord, did this become ugly very fast.
Yeah.
So those of you who lived under a rock, Sean McDermott got fired at post the Bills Broncos game, and it seemed like this was a pretty rash move at the time because they only fired Sean McDermott, but Brandon Bean, their GM at the time, uh, instead of getting canned as well, to kind of add that continuity to get a new GM and head coaching pair, ended up getting promoted for what he did. And the whole uproar about that is, why does Sean McDermott get canned? Which, to be fair, Sean McDermott, like 8 years or 9 years, he's been the head coach for the Buffalo Bills. Been to multiple rounds of the playoffs. Like, has a pretty decent record. He just could not get into that Super Bowl, um, with them. It just the roster was constructed by Brandon Bean. Sean McDermott only worked within the confines of said roster. How does Sean McDermott only get the can, but not Brandon Bean? And that's what the press conference was today. They hosted a press conference, and you'd think that by hosting a press conference that it would clear up a lot of the questions. If anything, it added more questions and made the Bills look bad. And from a PR standpoint as well, from an organizational standpoint, it looked bad because the ownership group, the Pagula family, or Jerry Pagula, um, interjected being talking things about Keon Coleman when questions asked about Keon Coleman and the draft process and stuff like that. Uh, Pagula saying like we didn't never wanted him. We never wanted him. And Bean said we never wanted it was all up to the head coach and all that stuff. When there's clear evidence that they said if we really want Keon Coleman on this roster. And similarly, things like how did the decision for Sean McDermott come through for getting fired? Well, it was because of the Denver team and the Denver loss. And Pagula saying that the Denver loss was rigged against them, and it wasn't necessarily Sean McDermott's fault. But that contradicts there's so much mess going on in Buffalo that you they didn't even consult Josh Allen about firing Sean McDermott before, and they did it behind his back. And Josh Allen and the team are absolutely furious about this. I wouldn't say absolutely furious, but they are very shocked about this. And like, I just can't believe what I heard today, because it was just like, it was just bizarre. Like, now what? Now it's like the idea of people, or like players, or even head coaches options. Yeah, like the locker room is probably lost too. So, um, coaches probably don't even want to come to Buffalo anymore. Even the idea of having Josh Allen was supposed to be the focal point of teams to come to Buffalo. But now with the interference of the upper management, that's going to put a stain on that. And you're probably going to be left with second, third, fourth options instead of your
Mhm.
first. So I know I rambled quite a bit, but take me through
Yeah.
some of your thoughts on this, because
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
a lot.
yeah, I mean, I think I was shocked when I saw this. I was like, damn, like they really pulled the plug on McDermott. Um n- I didn't understand the Brandon Bean part of it. Like you said, I think you said it perfectly. It just didn't make sense why you would promote someone who hasn't really got that much talent on the roster, because that's like his job,
I mean,
like to
the only
draft.
things that they have done
Yeah.
is they only have two players, if I remember correct. I forget who, but I know James Cook is one of them. Two Pro Bowlers in the span of how many drafts at this point? And
Wait, has
and
Ryan Poles had more than him?
definitely, like, probably by now, I would assume, at least not a lot, but
Wait,
like,
drafted, right? I'm just thinking. Drafted. I don't think so.
I don't think Brian Poles is yet, but Brian Poles has only
Well, no,
been with the two.
DJ Moore doesn't count. Sweat doesn't count either. Yeah, those are acquisitions. Anyways,
Yeah,
but I
similarly,
mean,
but before you
Ryan
get
Poles
into
doesn't
the,
count though.
no, but before you get into more, all the Pro Bowlers that were, um, you know, that may
Mhm.
have made can't even speak, Pro Bowls, were from the previous GM. They weren't even from him. It was like Josh Allen. I can't even remember at this point. Like, it's been a
I
while.
mean, they just
Like,
believe in him. I mean, I mean, like, look. At the end of the day, like McDermott's defenses has not like been well in the playoffs, but like, look. At the end of the day, man, like it's like the Harbaugh fire, man. It's like if you don't win in this league, you have a chance to get fired, bro. No one's safe, man. No one is safe. No one's safe. Harbaugh got fired, you're gonna get fired. At least Harbaugh won a Super Bowl, so like that bought him more years. But I mean, McDermott, look, like they've been competitive, and look, Brandon Bean really hasn't helped you either. He hasn't got you like good receivers, like ever since Stephon Diggs left. And Josh Allen's had to carry, man. He had an MVP season.
and Diggs was an acquisition too. That
And like
wasn't even like a draft.
I can't really blame McDermott either, because like dog, you 4 of the times like you lost to Mahomes. Like that's hard to beat. It's hard to beat Mahomes in the playoffs. So and then I get this year you lose to Bo Nix when you didn't have everybody. And I think the reasoning is like I'm not reasoning for like I don't have any rationale for like um the Brandon Bean thing, but the rationale I guess is like this is the year that they felt like if we don't win the Super Bowl, we don't think McDermott's the guy. So I kind of understand that part, but I don't understand why they would. I don't understand. I didn't think that. Maybe I'm not tapped into the Bills, but I didn't think that there was something that Brandon Bean did, or like either a move, because he didn't do anything in the trade deadline. I don't remember. Um, he didn't draft anyone that's crazy. I didn't think that like he deserved. Look, credit to him. First of all, who am I to say what he deserves? Who am I to say anything, bro? Like I'm a 20-year-old studying, bro. Like I'm a student, 20-year-old student watching the NFL. So who am I to say like what he deserves and what he does not deserve? But I didn't see a thing where it's like, okay, you keep him, but we get rid of him, like McDermott. Like I didn't see that the reasoning to promote him. But congrats to him. He got a promotion. I'm definitely going to get more money now. But look, I think the Bills, they believe in him, and we'll see. We'll see what happens, bro. Like they got to nail this next hire because you're in Josh Allen's prime right now. So, and he's definitely talented enough to win a Super Bowl. So, um,
I
Mahomes can't win it every year. Lamar is not that like he's not the greatest in the playoffs. So I definitely think Josh Allen's a playoff riser. So if we have the right coach, I definitely think he can win a Super Bowl. I think he's that talented of a quarterback, um, to do it. Like,
I the thing is, I just don't think that's a good. I don't think Josh can win on the Bills. I just cannot
why
see
not?
it because I just don't like how things are run there. And it's a matter of, you fired Sean McDermott. You say it's because you agree with Sean that the call that led to the eventual demise of the game for the Bills was, you were completely agreed. You were on their side, his side, but you're also saying that McDermott criticized you that, hey, the roster construction is not up to where we need
I
to be
agree.
competitive.
He's
Yeah,
speaking facts.
yeah, but no, the thing is, they're making so what I'm trying to make you understand is that the
Mhm.
the whole rationale is flawed because they're saying in the presser that it's we're on Sean's side, but however, he criticized us for the draft picks that we've made, and that led to the decision. And apparently, that wasn't the reason why they fired him. It was because of the Denver game. And what sucks about that, because it's like you agreed that the call was the reason they lost that game. You interjected, like the owner interjected the 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 GM saying, "Hey, it was the
Yeah.
call that screwed us over this time." And then when the reporter asked, "So, what was the reason that Sean McDermott got fired then?" "Oh, it's because we lost that game." So I
I
don't
mean,
quite understand.
I think two things can be true. Like, it could be because the shortcomings of the team. Like I said, like this was your chance to go win that Super Bowl. I mean, I get it. You didn't have the greatest roster, but like you had probably the best quarterback, like talent wise. Maybe you can argue Stafford, but in that playoffs and in the AFC side easily, like you had the chance. And look, McDermott, you're a defensive minded guy, bro. Look, why is every time you lose, the opponent scores like 30 points or
I
more?
mean, it's hard. It's
That's where
hard to do that if everyone's injured on your defensive side. Like
yeah, that's true. True.
they
Two
had
things can be true.
majority of the players on IR.
But
Like
here's the thing though.
same with
Football's
Robert
an
Sala.
injury.
Like he had to deal with that.
Football is an injury riddled sport. I mean, it's sad. It is. It's just how it is. That's just how the game is constructed, and it's so. And I look. It's 9 years of body of work, and you haven't made to the Super Bowl once. I get it. I understand why they fired him, but I just don't understand the Brandon Bean part. That's the one thing I don't
Yeah,
understand.
if you're gonna
I
fire
understand
Sean McDermott, fire Brandon Bean as well.
it's
So
like
at least you
like
can.
it's like it's like how what you argue about Harbaugh. It's like at some point push comes to shove, like you're not
Right.
getting it done, right? So
Yeah.
like, and you're not gonna get rid of Lamar. You're not gonna get rid of Josh because head coach is more replaceable than
A
a
franchise
Hall of
quarterback.
Fame level. I know. I think they're a Hall of Fame level quarterback. So like, it's hard to replace them. You're not gonna get rid of them. So might as well try something new. Get a new voice in that locker room to you know get to the players that okay, we need to. Our defense needs to tighten up in the playoffs because Josh can go out there and score 30. Can credit Josh needs to not turn over the ball, which he's been perfect in not doing that in a lot of playoff games other than this one. So I think the Bills can win a Super Bowl. I disagree with you on that. Like the Bills can win, that Josh Allen can win the Super Bowl with the Bills. I think they can. If you have a Hall of Fame quarterback like Josh Allen who plays amazing in the playoffs, um, you just gotta get a receiver for him, dog. Like I think they just need a receiver. I think they're a receiver away. And look, if I'm the Bills, man, hey, there's a receiver in Philadelphia. There's a receiver in Philadelphia named A. Brown. Give them
I
like
don't
a
think it's a good
second and like a
fit.
fifth
If
in the end,
anything,
bro.
I don't see it as a good fit. Like there, he's gonna
I think it's an
complain so
amazing fit.
much.
Josh will easily get in the ball. Josh will
No,
easily
if
get him the
Stephon
ball.
Diggs can work in Bill on the Bills, I don't think AJ Brown
Yeah,
can.
yeah, yeah. AJ's better than Stephon, dude.
I feel like he's the same kind of player. It's just like he needs the ball, and and if he does, he sometimes in big moments doesn't
Bro,
perform. Like
yeah, because he was
I don't.
cold, dude. Okay, all right. Think about it this way, right? If you okay, let's play. Let's you're playing a pickup game in basketball, right? Right, and there's like 5 straight games you don't get the ball, right? But then the sixth game you need to hit the clutch shot to score. You're gonna be rusty. You're gonna miss 9 times out of 10. You're gonna miss. Jalen Hurts does not give him the ball that much. Okay, at some point you're not. I expect AJ Brown. I'm not defending AJ Brown for dropping him, but it's hard to like get yourself in the group if all year you're just not on like you're not what's the thing? Not coordinated with your quarterback. Like Jalen Hurts has so much shortcomings and he sometimes does not give the ball to AJ. Like I can't like say like oh AJ Brown's this and that because AJ Brown's been amazing with the Philadelphia Eagles. Like imagine you give him Josh Allen, like the Bills can actually go win that Super Bowl. Because you now you can't play man. Now you can't play man now. You gotta either stick to zone or blitz. And Josh Allen's one of the best quarterbacks when it comes to the blitz and in zone. So the problem with the Bills this year is they didn't have a man beater. They didn't have a guy that can beat man and man coverage. So a lot of teams would just play man against the Bills. So if you give them someone like AJ Brown, like or Jalen Waddle, who should be available too, bro, the Bills could be very scary, bro.
I guess that could be true. I just don't think that AJ Brown would be a good fit. Not just me, but um, a couple more, and then we'll call it, and then we'll end it off on some predictions for the upcoming championship
Yeah.
games for on Sunday. Um,
Should
so
be us, bro.
Falcons to get Kevin Stefanski. I think that's a good move. Funny
Yeah.
thing is that Baker Mayfield, after a beat reporter, said like, oh, you know, Stefanski's time was riddled with the failures of Baker and Deshaun Watson, and Baker was like, failure is a strong word, bud or pal or whatever. And the fact that Stefanski never kind of tossed him out, and he never texted him like when he was out on the way out, or called him or talked to him. So like Baker now has another chip on his shoulder. And what's funny is that Kevin Stefanski is going on the Falcons, who's on in the NFC South. So it's going to be Bucks Atlanta is going to be a rivalry game as well. So it's going to be pretty fun. But at the same time, Kirk Cousins is still on that team on the Bucks, and for some reason, Kirk absolutely hates the Bucks and will drop. So far in 6 games, Kirk Cousins has dropped 2,000 yards and 17 touchdowns on the Buccaneers. And keep in mind, he's only been here for 2 years. Wait, no,
Wait, that
two.
cannot be true.
Wait, no, 17 games in his career against the Buccaneers. That's what I meant. He's played 17 games in his career against the Bucks,
I
and
remember
he's
he
dropped.
lost in week. I remember he lost with the Vikings. I remember.
Yeah,
I
he did.
remember.
He did. But anyways, I'm saying more recently, he just goes berserk because he just, I remember he put a franchise record on
I
the.
mean, you can't go in the season with Kirk Cousins at your quarterback, man.
He
You gotta
probably
have
will.
someone competing. I
He
think
probably
Malik
will.
Willis.
No, Malik Willis is probably going to go to the Dolphins. I think that they're bringing him. They're looking to bringing him over. Like, I think that's going to happen,
That's a
especially
good
with
move.
Halfley.
I like it. I'm
Yeah.
I'm, I'm cheering for Malik. I like him. I like him a lot. I think he's again one thing I will always praise LaFleur is he knows how to develop quarterbacks, bro. That's That's something he knows how to do. He knows how to do that, so I'll give him his props for that. But yeah, I love the Stefanski hire, bro. I love it. I think that he shouldn't have gotten tossed in the Cleveland Browns. I think that was he was the best thing the Cleveland Browns had in a while. And look, guys, can we just like be honest, bro? Like I'm a Shadur guy. I like Shadur. I think I'm a realist when it comes to Shadur, though. I think he's a good play. I think he can be good, but dude, he's not good, bro. Like right now, he's not good. He gotta be better, but like what is the difference in him and Gabriel? Like I'm serious. Like I think he's better than Gabriel, but like
I
there's not
think
that
I
big of a
think
difference.
Gabriel the difference there's a huge difference because Sidor is willing to take those risks,
I guess, yeah.
the
Yeah.
risks, but Gabriel just won't. He's just afraid to take the risks.
No, no, no.
That's
So
my thing.
my thing is like I think Shador is a good like he could be good, but like Stefanski never like I hate that. Oh, you have two bad seasons in a row, dude. There's nobody on the offense to like actually like be like the Browns like why is Andrew Barry still having a job? No, I get it. He had a pretty good draft class, but dude, his draft class was all like defense, and the defense was good. The offense was trash. And if you're gonna take in two quarterbacks, why don't you go get him a receiver and stop like having Jerry Judy as your number one receiver?
And he's
Now
not even that
Stefanski's
good.
now, yeah, like why? And now Stefanski gets to go to an offense, right? Which okay, look, quarterback's a question, but now if he can bring in any quarterback and they can cook with his offense. You got Drake London, you have Kyle Pitts, you got Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, a pretty good offensive line, and you have a pretty good defense. Like this team could go win the South. This team could go win 10 games this season. I think they have to obviously make some moves in the NFL draft, which they don't have a first round pick, but they have a second round pick, and they have a lot of picks after that. And then they have some money in the free agency to go spend. So they can do some stuff, man. I think this is a great hire, and Cleveland's gonna regret this, man.
I mean, they probably are. I mean, they had to make a move, and I think it was kind of how things were getting stale. They had to make, I think it was the right move for Cleveland. Just a matter of now who really wants that job. But I mean, moving on, we'll wrap these last two up real quick. Actually, no, three. Let's talk about the Titans. Titans get Robert Sala, and what's another funny thing about that too? Like Stefanski going against Baker and that rivalry being there. Um, Robert Sala and Liam Cohen don't like each other, especially when the Titans played the 49ers this year.
Yeah,
They did not like each other whatsoever, and they had some words after. So they'll get to play each other twice a season. So
yeah.
that's gonna
Liam
be
Cohen's
fun,
dusting him.
huh?
Liam Cohen's gonna dust him both
I mean,
times.
obviously. I mean, they're. I think this is a good move. It just really depends on who Robert
I don't
Saleh
like it.
brings in as the offensive coordinator. I think Robert
Yeah,
Saleh had the short end of his time with the Jets. He was, dealt with a really bad hand when it comes to dealing with the Zach Wilson drama that they did when it comes to them drafting him instead of like you know trading down and whatnot and all that stuff. And then another thing with Aaron Rodgers. And the thing is, as soon as Robert Sala left, the defense completely fell apart because Robert Sala was carrying that defense for so long. And then as soon as he left and Aaron Glenn stepped in, it wasn't the same, even though Aaron Glenn is supposed to be a defensive minded head coach. Like, and what he's done an admirable job with the 49ers. And I think what the purpose of that, and I'm glad that they took Salah instead of Nagy because I think while Nagy is an offensive mind, I think Salah does have the Vrabel traits where it's like he can command a locker room for the most part. Not as good as Vrabel, but the players respect him a lot. It's just a matter of can they get the offensive coordinator right, and Cam Ward definitely signed off on this too because that was the whole purpose of bringing Cam along and making sure they interview and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think the Titans
What-
have,
what's up?
um, yeah, yeah, I was saying the Titans have
Yeah,
an opportunity to get an offensive coordinator, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
I don't really like it because I think like when it comes to young quarterbacks, I don't like having a defensive minded head coach as like I like defensive minded head coach when the quarterback's established. Like like a Lamar Jackson can handle a defensive minded head coach. I think Josh Allen can handle a defensive minded head coach. I think a lot of different teams that have established quarterbacks can. But I think with Cam Ward, I want him to develop into like a guy like in the league, and I want an offensive minded head coach that's going to give everything all the tools for Cam Ward to succeed. And I just don't like that because now the thing with Cam Ward is now like he's gonna have a new offense coordinator this year, which is fine. It makes sense. His coach got fired, but then next year, if that coach coordinator and does decent, he's gonna have to recycle and keep recycling offensive minded head coaches. And I, I just I'd rather just trust an offensive minded guy for a young quarterback like Cam that needs all the tools rather than having a defensive minded guy like Robert Saleh that has nothing to do with the offense. And it's like, what's the goal here? Like with Robert Saleh, like he's not going to help you win more games. Sure, he'll get you the defense right. That's fine, but he's not going to get you anything in the offensive side. Like maybe he knows people. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't like it, man.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, Giants, we've already talked about. John Harbaugh,
Yep.
it's all right. And then the Dolphins get Jeff Halfley. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Solid move. I think he was probably the best defensive guy left. I think Flores then him, but I like the move. I mean, you need some change. I think Jeff Halfley will bring that like not that soft culture for the Miami Dolphins. It's whether the quarterback works there, and I hope they bring in Malik because I think Malik could be a very good quarterback for them. Sucks that we got to play Halfley this year. Again, we don't escape him. We had to play him.
At least only play him once
Um,
instead of twice.
yeah. So I think we can win. Not the Bears. Sorry. I think the Dolphins won with this move because he's gonna definitely shore up that defense, and then I think he's gonna bring in Malik. I think if they bring in Malik, that's a great hire because at least he knows like he's been with Malik, and he'll probably get the right coordinator from Malik because he knows what type of quarterback he is. Um, I'll get Brian Daboll as offensive coordinator.
Funny enough, the Bills are actually looking to reunite Josh Allen with
That's
Brian
good.
Dable, but
I think
but as a head coach instead of a coordinator.
I mean, why not? Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
I think Brian Dable, he was never. I mean, you give him Josh Allen, which he already worked with. Yeah, I think it'll work. But I think Brian, if not, I'm just trying to go with the Dolphins. So we're talking about the Dolphins. You get someone like Brian Dable, who's really good with like mobile quarterbacks. And you give like someone like a Malik Willis, he could be solid, bro. He could
Malik
be
Willis
solid
could
for
be a
that
good
team.
quarterback going forward. Yeah. Funny enough, he was drafted by the Titans and no one cared about him and he got shipped off because they brought in
What the
Will
Packers do,
Levis.
bro? Packers, like we didn't think Jordan Love was gonna be good, and then he became good. So I'm saying you don't hear me glaze before a lot, but he knows how to make quarterbacks better. Every time I've seen Malik play, he's impressed me. He doesn't. He plays like a starter. He does. So he deserves to be a quarterback somewhere. And I think Jeff Halfley, go get him. Go get him, man.
Yeah.
He's not gonna probably cost you that much. And you have Tua for like what, one more year in the roster for like space. So yeah.
No, they can void most of his con, and if you, yeah, they're stuck with Tua like for a while. So, I mean, yeah, what can you
Yep.
really do? But yeah, I mean, there's really not much else to kind of talk about. I mean, like you know, coordinators and hirings have been happening over the course of the days. And oh yeah, well, actually, one thing before we drop, let's do our predictions for the final two games
Yep.
before the Super Bowl. Let me. Ooh.
Sound good.
So obviously, we're down to our last final four teams, and it is the Seahawks versus Rams, and the Bills. Sorry, not the Bills. The Broncos versus Patriots.
Yeah.
Let's start with the NFC. This is gonna be
Okay.
fun. I feel like both games are gonna be pretty fun in their own right. Um, Obviously, prayers to Bo Nix, hopefully for a speedy recovery. It sucks that your quarterback that won you that game broke his ankle out of nowhere. Um, and now you have Jared Stidham, who's 1-3 so far as a starter. But it's the heat of the moment. I think Sean Payton believes he's ready. But for the NFC side of things, you have the third iteration of this game between two divisional opponents in the Rams and the Seahawks, and the Rams are going to be traveling to Seattle. What are your thoughts on this?
Dude, we've literally seen this 3 times. Like the Bears and the Packers did it, the Niners and the Seahawks did it, and now the Seahawks and the Rams did it.
Yep.
Look, these two teams have been the best teams in the NFC this year. I think the Rams are just like when I think the teams are 50-50, I go with the quarterback. Who do I trust? 2 minute situation to get me a win, and who do I think is gonna play? Who's gonna outplay the other quarterback? I think the Rams take this one. Um, I think Darnold plays fine, but I think he'll throw a couple picks, and it just I think I just trust Stafford in this moment, man, and I trust Sean McVay. So I'm going with Matthew Stafford and the Rams, the Mr. MVP.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to be taking Stafford as well. I just think the experience, and after playing a very gritty game against a Bears team like that, McVay is definitely going to be making some changes, but McVay has the work cut out for him because this Mike McDonald um, defense is no joke whatsoever. It's one of the toughest defenses out there in terms of scheme, and you have the ball catchers with Puka and Devontae. You have Kyron Williams. You have Blake Corum as the second back. You have Tyler. No, you have Colby Parkinson and Higby. Um, you have the defense relatively good. Your secondary is still a question mark, but are still pretty opportunistic. Um, and the defense, I mean, and for the Seahawks side of things, you're taking a look at that side, and you have weapons on that side. JSN is still an absolute monster, a very big problem. The running backs, obviously, Charbonnet out for the season with a torn ACL, but Kenneth Walker is going to be having a good factor in this game, and it's really comes down to, like you said, can Sam Darnold protect the ball? Can Sam Darnold play a clean game? That's going to be a big question for me. And I think that I will go with Stafford here because while it is in Lumen Field, Stafford is well known around the league to be clutch. And I think he'll get the job done, to cap up his MVP performance.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm going to take Stafford here. But I will say, I will not be surprised if the Seahawks win, just because I think that McDonald has the pedigree as not only a head coach but as a defensive mind that was with the Baltimore Ravens and did more with less. Same thing
Mhm.
here with like in the Ravens game when they went to the AFC Championship game. He did all he could in that game. The offense was the big question. He did all his part, and now he's going to use that same principles that he was had in the Ravens, and they're going to apply to here, where it's a more balanced game. And Sam Darnold, if he could just avoid the turnovers, which he did the last game, he was able to do well. But then again, it was against the 49ers, and this is the Rams, so completely different team. But I'm taking the Rams just for the sake of I believe in Stafford more than Sam Darnold. But let's move on to the other side. Broncos taking on the Patriots at home. Who do you got?
I think the Broncos win this one.
Hmm.
I think people are under like I think people are like, oh yeah, the Patriots are gonna blow the doors and beat the Broncos, and I think the Patriots are gonna go like kind of light, and I think they're gonna take them lightly, and I think the Broncos defense is gonna help this team win. I think Jared Stidham is gonna do enough to go to the Super Bowl. I think it's gonna be Broncos Rams Super Bowl. Drake May's not played that good in the playoffs, man, and I think they're gonna make sure they're gonna. Actually, he played solid. He's like he has a fumbling issue. I don't know what happened, but he played fine against the actually Texans. So I'm kind of hating, but like
Yeah.
he played fine. But I think the Broncos defense in Denver too. Like I don't mind people picking the Patriots because they're a good team. It just I have a feeling that something weird is gonna happen and the Broncos are gonna win.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be rooting for the Broncos, but at the same time, it's kind of hard for me to pick Jared Stidham over Drake May, and I feel like we're gonna get a repeat of what was in 2018 with Tom Brady and Jared Goff. Um, but I think that I feel like the Broncos defense has a good shot. I'm just not super high on the Stidham, even though he could be pretty good. He was on the Patriots. I believe a long time ago he was on the Patriots at one point. So uh, I'm going to take the Patriots. And it's going to be Patriots Rams on and in the Super Bowl once again for a rematch. Hopefully the Rams win that one. But yeah, I think that's my pick. I mean, Drake May and this Pacers team have been doing excellent work. I feel like that, Bo Nix going down gave him a path that they, can't refuse to take. So, you know, it is what it is. But that's gonna do it for today's episode. Thank you guys again so much for watching and listening and are supporting the channel. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe down below. Follow my brother on his uh, channel as well. Follow the socials as you can see down here below. And as always, guys, we'll see you guys in the next one.